It's that time again. A brand new season of Stranger Things. Well, I watched the Stranger Things intro and thought I'm gonna recreate it and make a tutorial about it. The project files for this animation are on our Patreon, so if you want to download it, link below. Alright, let's build this thing. So first up, a new composition. I'm clicking this little new comp icon in the project panel. Set it to whatever you want, but I'll go classic 1920 by 1080, 30 FPS. And of course give it enough duration because this intro needs to be dramatic. So like 40 seconds. Hit OK. Now let's create a black void of sadness. Right click in the timeline, go to New, Solid, pick the color black, hit OK, boom. Black background done. Next, we need our text. Go to the top and grab the text tool, the big T. Click in your comp and type whatever you want. You can type Stranger Things if you want the full vibe, or your own title, or your channel name. Anything works. Now, quick fun fact. The actual Stranger Things font is available on Adobe Fonts and it's called Penguin. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, if you want it accurate, use that. With the text layer selected, go to the Properties panel and tweak your font size, tracking whatever you need to make it feel right. Now here's the key part, the outline look. In the Properties panel, turn off the fill and turn on the stroke. Set the stroke color to red. And now you've got that iconic red outline title vibe. Easy. Now we need every letter on its own layer, because we want to animate each character separately. And After Effects doesn't like it when you try to do complicated letter animations inside one single text layer. It gets messy fast. But before we split up, this is your warning. Make sure your text is final. Make sure the spelling is correct, because once you separate it, going back is annoying. You can do it, but you'll hate yourself for it. Alright, if your word is final, let's split it. I use a free plugin called Decompose Text. One click and it explodes your text into separate character layers. It's a lifesaver. Now you'll see why we did this. Because we can animate the letters individually, just like the real intro. In the Stranger Things intro, the center letter moves first, and then the other letters follow. Pick your center letters first. Select one of them, hit P on the keyboard to reveal position. Now here's the trick that makes animating this super easy. The position you currently see, that's your final resting position. That's where the letter needs to end up. So instead of animating forward, we set the end keyframe first. So I'm moving my playhead to around 10 seconds. You can do 8, 12, whatever, but give it time to feel slow and creepy. At that point, click the stopwatch next to the position. That creates a keyframe and it locks in the final position. Now go back to the start of the timeline and at the start, move that letter away in a direction you like. You can move it upwards, downwards, sideways. The real intro feels like letters are drifting into place from the darkness, so don't make it too wild. Subtle is powerful here. Once you move it, After Effects creates a new keyframe automatically. So now the letter travels from its offset position into the final spot. Now repeat that for the other letters, and here's what makes it feel like the intro. Don't have them all start at the exact same time. Offset them. Start the middle letters first, then start the next one slightly later, then the outer letters even later. So it feels organic and not like a robot lined everything up for you. And yes, it takes a minute, but this is the part that makes it look good. Once you've animated all the letters, we want the ending to feel smooth. Select the last keyframe of each letter, the ones that land in place, and give them an ease in. You can right-click Keyframe Assistant, Ease In. The idea is that the letters slow down as they settle. And voila! You're done for today. No, just kidding. The best part hasn't even started yet. But first I want to talk about something even better. Something called Storyblocks. I've been using this plugin for After Effects and Premiere Pro for years. All you need to do is click the download button and boom, my video is in the project panel. You can type in a keyword, for example drone footage, and look at these beautiful cinematic shots all made by real humans. They're not AI generated like on most stock libraries nowadays. You'll get unlimited downloads of diverse and high quality media for just one predictable subscription cost. Storyblocks is everything you need in one place. 4K HD footage, videos, templates, music and sound effects. It gives you unlimited content that you can use to test, experiment, and create more effective videos. I use it all the time to create new effects for tutorials like this one, or of course to enhance the story I'm telling you guys. You can choose a monthly or annual plan, no hidden costs or extra fees. Anything you download is 100% royalty-free, pre-licensed, and ready to use. No need to worry about legal rights or copyright claims or anything like that. To get started with unlimited stock media downloads at one set price, head over to storyblocks.com/After After Effects Basics, or just click the link down below. Now, let's continue with our animation. So right now we have a bunch of letter layers. They animate nicely, cool, but the real Stranger Things intro isn't just one wide shot. It has close-ups, slow zooms, little glimpses of letters, and then finally the full title reveal. So we're going to do the same thing. Select all your letter layers and pre-compose them back into one layer. Ctrl-Shift+C or right-click and choose Pre-compose. Name it something like text animation and hit OK. Now all your letter animations live inside this pre-comp and we can treat it like footage. Next we're gonna make close-up shots using this pre-comp. First thing, select the pre-comp layer and enable the continuously rasterize option. That's the little sun looking icon. This is important because we're going to scale in a lot and we don't want pixelated outlines. Now for our first close-up, we want to zoom in on a specific area of the title. Grab the pan behind tool, that's the anchor point tool, shortcut is Y. Click on your pre-comp layer and move the anchor point to wherever you want the zoom to focus, like maybe the middle of a letter or where two letters almost touch. This anchor point becomes the center of your scale, so put it where you want the camera to push into. Now press S for scale and crank it up. Make it big enough that we're only seeing a small part of the title. That's your close-up. At the start of this close-up shot, set a scale keyframe. Move forward a bit and decrease the scale slightly. It's a slow cinematic zoom out, nothing crazy. It should feel like something bad is about to happen. Once your close-up feels good, trim the pre-comp layer so it only covers the moment. Just grab the ends of the layer and shorten it. Now duplicate the close-up layer, Ctrl-D or Command-D, move the duplicate after the first one, and now change the anchor point position to focus on another part of the title. Scale it, adjust it, animate the scale again. Now you have a second close-up. And you can repeat this a few times. Different close-ups, different parts of the title, different timing. This is where you build tension. Just don't overdo it. The slower and cleaner it is, the more it feels like the real intro. Now, quick tip that is insanely useful here. If you trimmed your pre-comp layer and you want to change what part of the animation you're showing without messing up the layer timing, use the pan behind tool. With that tool, you can drag the in and out points content-wise without changing the duration of the layer. So you're basically sliding the footage inside the layer. It's perfect for this because you can pick the best moment of the letter animation for each close-up shot without shifting the whole edit. Alright, now the look. This is where it becomes Stranger Things. Select your pre-comp layer and let's start stacking effects. First effect, noise. Add the noise effect. Set it to around 30% and disable use color noise. Now you've got that gritty film texture vibe. But we also want bigger, chunkier noise. So add the turbulent noise effect. Now tweak it, increase the contrast and the brightness, lower the scale a lot so the noise is more detailed, and increase the complexity so it gets richer. If you want more movement, animate the evolution. Easiest way is to alt-click the evolution stopwatch and type something like time 50. Now it evolves forever without keyframes. And super important, set the blending mode of the turbulent noise effect to multiply. That way the red stays red. Next, add CC light sweep. That gives you that classic glossy highlight passing over the letters. Now I'm not going to pretend there's one perfect setting here because it depends on your title, your scale and your timing. So play with the width, direction, intensity, color, all that stuff until it feels good. The goal is subtle. You want it to feel like the letters are catching a light, not like someone is shining a flashlight in your face. Next, roughen edges. This is what makes the outline feel more organic and less like clean vector text. Lower the border, lower the scale, and soften the sharpness. You want a little bit of texture on the edges, not a destroyed title. Then we add VR chromatic aberration. This adds that tiny lens distortion color split. Again, subtle. A little bit makes it feel like it's being filmed through a real lens. Then channel blur, and specifically blur the red channel a little bit. That helps soften the red glow vibe and make it feel more atmospheric. Now we add glow, but I like doing this on an adjustment layer because I want the glow separate. So right click in the timeline, new adjustment layer, put it above your title pre-comp and add glow to it. Adjust your threshold and radius until it feels like the red is blooming a bit. And if you want to control where the glow hits, just mask the adjustment layer. That way you can keep glow stronger in some areas and weaker in others. And one last optional spice layer, not necessary, but it adds depth. Camera lens blur, plus a gradient map setup. This can fake depth of field, so some parts feel slightly more out of focus, like the camera is focusing through layers. If you do this, keep it subtle. You're not making a blur montage, just enough to give dimension. Now, the nice part, once you've dialed in your look, copy and paste those effects effects to all your other close-up shots. Some with the glow adjustment layer, then you might need to tweak a few things per shot, especially light sweep positions, because close-ups are different, but most of the look will carry over. And that's it. If you enjoyed the video, go watch the next one in the video on my left. Thank you guys so much for watching.